Hello, and welcome to round 2 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of February 20th. I'm Terry Morrow, and I'm here with Catherine Holeko.
Hello.
Usually on this podcast, we talk about parenting issues, but once a week, Catherine and I like to get together to discuss TV, movies, books, and other entertainment topics, because it's nice to talk about something other than parenting for a change. This week, we continued with our 2 TV series watches, Brothers and Sisters and Shrinking. So, on Shrinking, we watched the episode called Woof, which turns out to be Paul's favorite expression of disdain, I guess. The theme is, I guess, doing things that you can't face doing. Mm-hmm. With varying degrees of success.
Right.
Jimmy wanted to confront Paul about Paul freezing him out, and that did not go successfully. Sean obviously can't face the things that he did when he was at war.
Mm-hmm. Brian, who is Jimmy's friend, has apparently said many times that he's going to propose to his boyfriend, and has not managed to actually do it yet.
Yes, he has a ring, but he has not actually purchased it. He just goes and acts like he's gonna.
He looks at it at the jewelry store and then says goodbye.
Just can't.
This poor man working at it's like, you again. Okay.
The commission keeps coming and then going. And Paul is afraid to tell his daughter he has Parkinson's.
Right.
So people are resisting doing things, and then Paul at least did call his daughter. And we didn't see the part where he told her, but he was obviously going to.
Right.
And Jimmy did track down his old patient who went back to her husband and confronted her in, a completely unethical way. But still, She's going to come back. Oh my goodness, by the way, shall I say, how short was her skirt? How do you even sit down?
I did notice that myself.
Honey, you haven't put on your entire outfit. You're clearly upset.
Great legs, but...
Yes. I guess that's how she sells houses.
Yeah.
People not gonna...
Slightly stressful for other people.
Oh my. That outfit made me nervous. So Jimmy is worried about Alice and Sean possibly doing something that he would not approve of. Mm-hmm. And he's not wrong. But Sean goes to see his dad, and his dad gives him a framed set of his medals, and that, of course, sends him spinning off for reasons we know not. And he calls Alice at high school and asks her if she wants to go for a walk, as one does when one is an adult man. Let's find a high school girl and get her to ditch school to come take a walk with me. But we imagine Sean not thinking too clearly.
Yes.
Because he then, during their walk, climbs to the top of a water tower and hangs from it, completely freaking her out. Not a way to get chicks, man, I gotta tell you. So she is upset about it and tells Paul that he has to start being friends with her dad again because he needs some help.
Jimmy needs help, yeah.
Jimmy needs help in helping Sean, because Jimmy talked to Sean about it, and Sean said he's leaving, and everything is sort of falling apart. Right. So Paul just waltzes on in with a 6-pack of beer, starts talking to Sean, finds out what the core of the problem is, and,
in 3 seconds, which right. Jimmy has been trying to do for weeks or months.
The man is a professional.
Mm-hmm. So. As Sean says, wow, he's way better at this than you are.
Of course, he did use if you open up to me, it's going to really annoy Jimmy. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the main action. There was also, we got a little bit more of Gabby and Liz being buddies, which is fun. Mm-hmm. And just one Ted McGillney thing here, but he was telling Liz that she snores, and she denied it. And Jimmy came up and said, "How's everything?" And And he says, great, my wife has no faults. So,
Right.
I would encourage that. I got to work that into the conversation over here. Anytime we have a problem, that's the answer I want to hear. And then he went and fell asleep in the car.
Right.
So fun.
But not because she had been snoring all night, of course.
No. Of course not, because his wife has no faults.
Right.
So this was fun. It seemed like it was a little more all over the place than some of the episodes have been. But that's okay. It's kind of building out everybody's storyline. Mm-hmm. And, it's fun popping around to different people.
Yeah. And, I was thinking about Pop Culture Happy Hour did an episode about this show.
Uh-huh.
And kind of gave it mixed reviews. Some people loved it, some didn't.
Yeah.
Which but
yes, I didn't listen to the one who didn't.
Yes, but you got the gist.
Fast-forwarded. I got the gist.
But one of her complaints was that these people are always up in each other's business, and like
that's what we're watching for, Lee.
I know. First of all, that's what we're watching for, and second of all, like, how is that different from literally any other TV show there is?
I like that TV show where everybody just stays in their house and minds their business. That's a fun TV show.
I mean, there can only be so many characters, as we've also talked about. It's the law of economy of characters. Like, you can't not have 25 new people on every episode. Like, people have to talk to each other. Yes. I don't know. I felt that was such a silly criticism. Like, what are we doing here?
Another person who was giving their opinion on it said that it was something along the lines of that it was like Cougar Town with cussing. And that is exactly what I feel about it, too. Mm-hmm. Just people all up in each other's business, but fun to hang out with. And funny, and, don't ask questions like that. It's just,
even when they're dealing,
we want to see them together in different combinations,
right?
And it was, it was fun when Paul walked in on Jimmy and Sean and put himself in that situation. We had only seen him sort of in a much more limited thing. It's fun when it turns out he's talking to Alice. It's great to see them all in different configurations. Yeah. Lady.
Take that. I mean, even when they're dealing with difficult things, they're dealing with trauma, they're dealing with, difficult diagnoses, they're dealing with grief, but, it's sort of showing that life moves on and you can help each other, even if you're not a professional therapist, there's still a role for friends and family in these situations.
Yeah, well, it's a found family show, and I like those a lot.
Yes.
So, I mentioned to you, I think that there's a shrinking playlist on Apple Music, which is really fun. It has the opening theme song, which I really like, which is called Frightening Fishes.
Oh, okay.
Ben Gibbard and Tom Howe. Mm-hmm. But I like listening to that song. And all the other songs are probably songs that have been on the show or in that same spirit. It's very enjoyable if you would like to, between times when you get to actually watch a new episode, if you would like to kind of get in the spirit of shrinking, you can go check out that playlist. The question I have about it, this is how this shrinking playlist describes the show. Jason Segel and Harrison Ford star in this comedy series about a therapist who decides to try a new approach with everyone in his path. Unfiltered, brutal honesty. What the heck? Well, if I was on this show, I would use a different word than heck, but you know what I mean. That's not what this show is about, and that does not sound like a fun show. I would not want to watch that show.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure why the people at Apple TV are not talking to the people at Apple Music.
Not at all. So maybe that's what that lady would like to see, is every week he comes upon different people and is unfiltered, brutally honest with them.
Yeah.
And then they disappear, because why wouldn't you if somebody talked to you that way? Oh, well.
Yes.
But, we didn't talk last week enough about how great Harrison Ford was in Potatoes. From singing in the car
right.
to telling Jimmy he would only talk to him about potatoes and saying, "Enjoy your spuds, bud." He was hilarious in that. And he was so good in this one, too. And I just love his character, and I love him as an actor, and it's so fun having him on this show.
Yes, it's great. He's doing that grumpy old man thing, but in just such a delightful way.
Yes, and a little offbeat now and then. You wouldn't expect the grumpy old man to be hanging out with the teenage girl.
Or to be singing the song. Or, yes.
Or to be bringing a six-pack of beer and solving the situation. he just is wonderful in it. So, not to say anything against the other actors. Everybody's very good. But it's just, for those of us who have known Harrison Ford forever, it's like, hey, I remember you.
Right.
I am so happy that you are hanging out here in this show, getting all up in everybody's business.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Please continue.
Yes, definitely. So, on Brothers and Sisters, this was like a tale of unwise tellings. If these people could just shut up, there would be no episode. Well, what fun would that be?
Also, it was just making me so mad. Like, this girl doesn't know.
Yes.
So, like, please, everyone stop talking about it.
I know. And it's like Sarah has been having just such a series of terrible, no good, very bad days. And I feel so sorry for her. The scenes with Joe are hard. The scenes, with all the family stuff and everything. But, man, that calling Rebecca into her office was some kind of spider in the fly bleep.
Yeah.
No. This is not how you get revenge on her mother. No. Oh, Sarah.
Yeah.
All the sympathy just went whoosh.
Exactly. If you were trying to get me to actually be on Holly's side, you did.
Yeah. What an awful thing. Oh man. That was rough. But it's just like, it was just such a cavalcade of, Saul had to tell Nora, and he had to in that moment. I understand why he felt he had to, but shut up. Right. And then, then Nora immediately has to go rush and tell Kitty and Justin. And of course, Justin is going to react to it. Thank goodness it was his sponsor he was meeting in the park instead of a drug dealer, but still.
Right.
And gosh, and then Sarah. Oh, bad girl.
Yeah.
So, and also, Kevin should not have told off the gossip columnist, because come on, man. How long have you been alive?
Exactly.
Just stop it, everybody. Oh dear. I should give a little recap.
Yes.
So Saul is over at Holly's house when Rebecca comes in, and he realizes, oh my gosh, it's Rebecca. And then he goes, for some reason, feels it's important to go and tell Sarah and Tommy and Kevin that Rebecca, Sarah told Tommy and Kevin. Saul would know that Sarah told Tommy and Kevin. Would he?
Yeah,
Sarah did we have a sister, but we will never speak of it again.
Right.
But anyway, they all got together, and are we going to tell Mom? Or are we not going to tell Mom? That's not really the first question that would pop in my head, but okay.
Right.
And everybody but Saul decides they're not going to. Well, Sarah decides they're not going to, and everybody goes along with her. But then Saul is having lunch with Nora, and she's like being all vulnerable and saying, maybe I was wrong about Holly. Maybe I should be friends with her. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. So, no more secrets and all that stuff. And so anyway, Saul tells her. And then, as we said, she tells Justin and Kitty and is ticked at her 3 children who knew and did not tell her, and gives them heck for it. And
But especially Sarah.
But especially Sarah.
That Sarah is the ringleader, which she is.
It's true. She is. And also that she feels like she had a special bond with Sarah and that Sarah would tell her things. But Sarah's not handled all this stuff well. So anyway, Rebecca comes into Ojai looking for her mother, and Holly is not there, but Sarah gets this idea of how she can get back to Holly by telling Rebecca who her father is, which freaks out Rebecca, as one might expect. And so she goes and confronts her mom and is super mad at her. And then Holly basically goes and tells Sarah this is war. So, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure nothing bad will come of it. It's all small stuff, It's a little gossip here and there. It's not a big deal. But I was surprised at how little of this I remembered. But the one part of this episode I really did stick with me was that scene at the end between Justin and Rebecca, which was just lovely.
So sweet. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Justin goes to meet her. Only one of the family who does. And they're, roughly in the same age range and have some friends in common, as it turns out, and they just go for a walk, and all her defensiveness kind of falls away, and he's very sweet, and that was nice. They have good chemistry, Emily Van Camp and Dave Vanderbilt, which will cause problems later, but okay. Anyway, that was very sweet. The rest of this was like, ay.
Yes.
I was glad that Tyler and Justin ended on a good note and not her saying, this is it. This is the last straw. You didn't come to my mom's dinner.
Right.
I don't care. I don't want to hear the story. But no, she came to the house and Nora told her, and she was there when he came back, and he, told her that he saw a sponsor and not a drug dealer. And they decided that he's not ready for a relationship.
Right.
So bye, Tyler. I think this is the final bye, Tyler.
Okay.
I could be wrong. But that was relatively nice. And I also liked the moment in Sarah and Joe and Kitty and Robert's disastrous double date in which Sarah and Kitty argued throughout about the fact that Sarah didn't tell her about her sister.
Right.
And at one point, Robert looks at Joe and says, "Do you like cigars?"
Right.
And off they go. He knows how to handle a situation, does the senator.
Yes.
They have like Rob Lowe turned up to 11 on this thing. Holy cow, is he handsome. And sweet and nice and solicitous to his, sweetie who has had a very bad day. Just adorable. Yeah. My goodness. Who wouldn't want to vote for that man?
Kevin.
That's
Kevin
right.
would not want to vote for him. Even though he has a gay brother. Did we mention he has a gay brother?
Yes, he has a gay brother.
Did you hear?
Kevin had a line that was, "I come from a long line of people who are incapable of leaving well enough alone." And that should be the tagline for this show.
Right.
Because this was a whole episode about that. And they are just like, indeed, not able
to do
goodness.
That. Yeah.
And could I just bring up again that they have determined Rebecca's paternity based on her initial being part of a password. Nobody wants to do a DNA test.
Well,
Sarah,
I mean,
have her to
Holly,
your office, pull a piece of hair out of her and send her away.
I mean, Holly admitted it when confronted by Saul,
yeah,
did she not?
But she said that she was seeing somebody else. I mean, I think she had said that it was somebody else was Rebecca's father. I mean, I think she kind of is taking it at the password also. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like she
knew and she just made up the other guy.
And right.
Hold that thought. I still think that if you were going to go to the official, dun, 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 she is a walker, you might want to, especially if you don't trust Holly.
Right.
Maybe you'd want to just,
yeah, they are quick to
science.
They are quick to assume that their dad did in fact do this.
Well, he gave Rebecca a doll, so that proves it also.
Yeah.
Your friend Bill. Mm-hmm. Did he go by Bill with her? Really? Bill.
I know, right?
He doesn't look like a Bill.
Yeah. Well, I mean, back when this was all first being discussed on the show, I thought that Holly was awfully quick to tell Saul the truth.
Yeah.
Considering that she had not told Rebecca.
Right.
You know, if you're keeping that secret from your kid, you keep it from every single other person in the world first.
She had not yet learned telephone, telegraph, telewalker. So, you know.
But even anybody, like, you don't tell even the most random stranger on the street.
No.
Like,
no.
You cannot, if that is your plan for your kid's life, then, you know, like, you need to.
Or alternatively, tell your kid.
Well, yeah, that would be a much better plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because, I mean, she goes into Sarah's office and says, I was going to tell her in my way, on my term. I'm like, well, when were you going to do that? She's 20 years old. Yeah. Like, that didn't.
You lost the chance. You should have, you know,
when
seen
she
this
was
day
8.
coming. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Remember my friend Bill? Remember the doll?
Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Golly.
100%. No. Poorly handled.
Yes.
By everyone.
By everybody. Mm-hmm. Well, the Walkers for telling too much, Holly for not telling enough.
Yeah. No wonder Rebecca's kind of bratty and mad at the world.
She's trouble with a capital T, I tell you.
Well, she has some justification for it.
Yes, absolutely. Well, hey, the other Walker, you're part of the story now.
Like it or not, you may want to change your mind.
Yeah, once you get to know the fam.
Mm-hmm.
But that will come next week, I believe, in Brothers and Sisters Season 1, Episode 17, All in the Family. Mm-hmm. And we will also watch Shrinking Episode 6, Imposter Syndrome. And that is going to be it for our Round 2 today. Please subscribe to our Parenting Roundabout podcast so you won't miss any of our episodes. We have something new for you every weekday. As always, you can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. Goodbye, Catherine.
Bye, Terry.
Goodbye, everybody.